So according to Age Concern, what percentage of people can't afford to retire at 65? The answer is 33%.
Thank you very much for watching The Right Stuff. We're live on 5 this morning with Christopher Biggins, Yasmin Ali Brown and Pauline McLean. Her new novel, Missing You Already, comes out in paperback on Friday, by the way, folks. Still to come this morning, why not Under My Roof? Why don't more parents encourage their teenagers to do it at home? Do sex, do drugs, do booze, do whatever. If you assume they're going to get up to this stuff at some point in their lives, wouldn't you rather you could do it, keep an eye on them while they're doing it? Or would you all worry you were condoning their hedonist activities, God forbid? 0207 173 5555. That's the number for your thoughts. You look disapprovingly at that one, Yasmin. OK, we'll talk more in a moment.
Miss Daily Mail here.
Left wing, right wing, left wing, right wing.
She's got her pointy head on, hasn't she?
First, though, and I'm really interested in this because we were only thinking about it yesterday, is retirement a right, a basic human right, or is it time to rethink this notion that everyone's allowed to put their feet up at some point in the autumn of their lives? Because faced with a growing elderly population and a deepening recession, the government is rightly worried about meeting the demands of pensioners. 9 out of 10 private pension funds don't have enough cash to pay out, maybe forced to close. And what about the state pension, currently £95.25 a week? Is that sustainable when there are now more over 65s in this country than there are under 16s? That's the first time in history. A shrinking workforce subsidising growing numbers of old folk. It can't go on forever like this, can it? Something has to give. Well, the government's current plan, it's a kind of fudge, surprise, surprise. It's to put back the pensionable age, currently 65 for men, 60 for women. Why do women always get it easy? To 68 for both men and women. Now, this could happen quite a long way down the line, 2050 they're talking about. What I want to talk about, or suggest, is why stop there? Why not scrap pensions altogether and make everyone work forever? You said yesterday, Biggins, or you wouldn't mind. Right?
That's different for us.
Well,
yeah, entertainment, but
hang on.
we don't
Pensions
have the luxury.
Pensions Minister Angela Eagle believes people should be allowed to carry on working if they want to. She thinks it's wrong that employers can make you retire because you've reached a certain age. Age Concern agrees with her. Why stop there? We know keeping active and busy is good for old people. It can help stave off depression, dementia. OK, we know people that retire early at 55 are like 89% more likely to die in the next 10 years than people retire at 65. Let's roll it on. Why not make full-time work compulsory until you die? Taxes forever!
I don't think you make it compulsory, but I think you can say if you want to work till the day you die, fair enough. It's just not going to work. There are not enough young people to go through the workforce. No, what I'm saying, once you say you must do it, you'll only raise resentment. If you say, if you feel you can, work.
I'm suggesting the opposite. If you can afford to stop, right, because you've saved enough, made enough, paid enough, then stop. And if you can't, why should the state have to support you? Work forever.
But what I'm also saying is that there are people who might have enough money to stop working. I'm not one of them. I don't even have a pension. But who want to carry on because of what you said. Once you stop, you know, a part of you does.
Right. So why let people stop if they've got the money? But why do we need a state pension? Like, people object to paying unemployment benefit. People are objecting to paying sickness benefit. Let's start objecting to paying pensions.
But Matthew, what about people who've had mundane jobs, which they've done from 9 till 5, for year after year, with 2 weeks off a year?
Perfect training for B&Q.
I could become a driving instructor.
Yes, and earn as much as £35,000 a year.
And you would trust me, would you?
And be your own boss.
But I do.
No, not if you're the instructor.
I certainly think there's no need. In a way, you're right. There's no need for people to retire.
Right. It's a luxury now.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. But I do think that certain people have had quite a tough life, and I think that they deserve to retire and enjoy themselves a little bit more.
But it's a luxury.
But it is a luxury.
That's the big fundamental shift here. It's not a right, but a luxury, is it, Pauline?
I think that people who have worked all their lives, that we can,
But they haven't worked
live
all their
as we
lives.
do.
They're stopping at 60, 65. They're living to 80, 80 plus.
Yeah, but I
They've not
think
worked all their
if
lives. There's
they've
20 more
done-
good years in them.
If they've done grunt work all their life and the stuff that we don't care to notice, I think they deserve. They've been paying their taxes all the way along. They deserve their pension. It's the least they deserve, and to be looked after.
But if the pension is unsustainable because there are not enough
yeah, but that's because
new
we are
drones
rubbish
coming
at
through.
running the country.
Well,
you
no,
know,
it's birth rates is the biggest single factor. The baby boomer generation is enormous. That's moving into retirement. The generation of drones, if you like, that have to pay the taxes to keep the system going underneath us is shrinking. You do the maths. It can't. It's not sustainable.
But it should be a choice thing, and I mean, even.
But the choice is going. It's slipping away.
Well, I'm with Yasmin. I don't think that you can get all, sort of like the government. I hate this when they tell us what we must think or do, when it's wrong like this. I think it should be discretionary. And obviously there are some jobs that you really probably wouldn't want a man of more than 65 doing, or indeed a lovely lady of 60 or more. I'll be there soon. I mean, if you're in charge of other people, if you're a bus driver and you're failing out, that's the health and
But we
safety
could move into that. As you get older, you can become a bus cleaner. I noticed that when there was snow, there was a lot of problems getting the buses out of the bus garage. You could be a snow remover.
You're saying they have to. This is what I'm saying.
I'm saying that we view pensions as a right, and I'm suggesting that is inaffordable, and that we need to start thinking of pensions as a luxury, that retirement is a luxury.
But you know what we also need to rethink is the universal entitlement. There are now more middle-class people in this country than ever before, and people like him should not be getting the free travel passes.
Oh, I so disagree. It's the least the man deserves.
This is the unthinkable.
This is my lefty friend here.
Yeah. The one that you're going to Switzerland
Okay. Order.
Get the state pension.
That's one way around it. The question for the viewers is it a luxury? Is it a human right to have a pension? I want to know what you think.
I think it's a right. I absolutely do.
On line 1.
OK, who was that? Couldn't hear.
Derek in Scotland
Lovely.
on line 1.
Derek, good morning.
Good morning. Now, one big problem is thousands of people working on, but what about the school leavers who can't get jobs?
No.
They might turn to crime, drugs.
OK, because all the jobs will be taken by older people.
Yes.
Good point. That is the one flaw in my argument.
If there be a flaw,
well done, Derek. And the next caller.
That is the flaw. I was aware of this flaw, and I skillfully and cunningly left it out of my argument. But you've got it in one. Do you feel a pension is a human right, sir?
Well, we have, yes. I mean, if you say you get your pension, you might not have a works pension, so you have to be helped by the government,
Yeah.
But we have to cater for the school leavers.
Yeah, there is one solution, of course, is we work the longest hours in Europe, so rather than having young people slaving doing 45, 50 hours a week or more, everybody job shares, a pensioner does your job in the morning and they'll do it really slowly because they're old, and then the young people come in and put it all right afterwards.
No, and they're too stupid, so they'll do it badly.
Derek, thank you. Let's have another, Kirsty.
We have Liz on line 3.
Liz, good morning.
Good morning, Matthew.
Is retirement a right, Liz?
I think it should definitely be a choice, and that if you can retire, then you should, because you'll make room for other people coming through. But the reason I really rang up was because my husband's been working nearly 40 years since he was 16 and a half, and I just think to myself, he's bloody well had enough, and it's so unfair that he is, having to keep on going when he doesn't really want to. And the other thing in your argument...
Well, Liz, is that any fairer than asking the young generation coming through that the taxes that they're paying, which they'd like to no doubt go towards schooling and healthcare for themselves...
He's paid taxes all his life.
But so are young people, but all their taxes are going to go and pay for your husband.
That's more to do with government management and how things have been run. That isn't really to do with it's not his fault that government sort of screwed up in this respect. I mean, from the other point of view as well, people who retire early quite often do a lot of volunteer work, community work. They benefit society in other ways. And if they're still slogging themselves, to an early grave, it's...
Well, hang on, Liz. The stats will tell you retirement if it's too early, will put you in an early grave, that working on a bit keeps you living longer. That's what these statistics that I've got, I don't know where they came from, probably the Department of Work and Pensions.
People do work long, but what they do is they work in different things. They're not, they maybe go volunteer work in hospitals, community work. They do other things to benefit their society, and they should be encouraged to do that because that will benefit everybody.
I know. I just think that we've got to face... there's no doubt about thinking, there's no thinking. We have to face some very, very difficult decisions. And this huge group of old elderly people, growing elderly people that are coming through, who are actually very fit, very bright, capable of doing lots of stuff. Can we afford as a society to allow them to put their feet up when the people underneath, a much smaller group of people, are struggling to pay the bills? It strikes me, it's a horrible thought. I'm with you. I don't want to slave till the day I die. I think retirement's fantastic. I just don't know whether that's going to be an option for much longer. Thank you, Liz. Let's have another.
On line 2, we have Maggie.
Maggie, good morning.
Good morning.
So, what do we think, Maggie? Is it a right to be able to retire?
Well, I think everyone should retire when they're about 50 and give them a chance to enjoy their lives and work, do the real work that they want to do. And, you know, it's very dispiriting when I hear, I'm 72 myself,
right.
I hear all you young people deciding what you're going to do with us. You know, older people should be asked, what do they want to do? I work, I'm self-employed.
Right.
I earn more money now than I've ever earned. I run a health network called New Ways. Older people are actually better at networking.
Okay, Maggie. So, go with me on this. The pension, the amount of money available, whether it's state pension or private pension funds, it's not looking good. It's not looking like there's enough there. Do we need to... encourage is one word. I'm wondering whether we have to compel older people to work for longer.
We should never compel people to do anything. We should have the sort of government that knows how to run things. And that's what we very seldom do.
And one of the arguments Paddy Ashdown put forward when he was here is we have too many young people in politics, not enough older, wiser, experienced people. I've said before, we take all the pensioners, stick them in the Commons. It's a thought. I tell you what, I bet you this subject comes up more and more and more over the next few years because I think it is going to become a really, really big problem.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, if you put them all in, the pensioners in the Commons, then they're entitled to how many pensions?
It's gravy train.
Expenses and the whole lot.
We have to take a break. We have to take a break, Pauline, after which Not Under My Roof is the theme. Why don't more parents encourage their teenage sons and daughters to do it all? Sex, drugs, booze at home. Surely it would be better for everyone if you let your kids do all that kind of stuff, somewhere where you can keep a discreet eye on them rather than forcing them out onto the mean streets of Britain. Or would you all worry that you were somehow, I don't know, condoning their bad habits? 0207 173 5555 is the number if you've got something to say. And maybe you've tried this with your kids. Something like 45% of parents have. And maybe you were brought up by parents who let you do what you like at home. How did you turn out? Actually, maybe I don't want to know. That's Not Under My Roof. Your thoughts after the ads.
Who lost her virginity at home with her mum's permission? Keira Knightley, Sienna Miller or Emma Watson? Find out after the ads.